Hey everybody, it's GombletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today's video is going to be a previously live streamed draft, so there will be the post-recorded intro and outro as usual in these, but without further ado, let's hop into the draft.
We've got an excellent rare here, the Lion Sash. 2 mana for a 1/1 artifact creature equipment cat. You can spend 1 white mana to exile a card from a graveyard, and if it was a permanent, you put a +1/+1 counter onto the sash. And for 2 mana, you can equip the Lion Sash to a creature. The equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash. So a really good card, a standalone threat that becomes bigger as the game progresses, or you just move this onto your other creatures when it's not big enough. Like really good to slap onto something like the Golden Tail Disciple, make a really big lifelinker. Lion Sash seems pretty sweet. Oh, that's true, Rivoke. There have not been a lot of glitches this time around, but day 1 glitches normally mean free stuff. So, you know, you take some, you lose some. Day 1 glitches can definitely be a good thing for free-to-players. Ooh, this card's been very good for pretty much every opponent that's played it against me. The Fall of Lord Konda. 3 mana to exile a creature an opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater. Everyone's definitely playing creatures that big. Actually, my last deck didn't. My last deck was so aggressive, we didn't play any of the creatures that cost 4 or more. We played 1 in the whole deck. But if you can get this to go off, if you can exile a creature and then make a 1/3 defender that draws a card, it's going to be a good deal. A removal spell plus a blocker plus draw a card when the blocker's gone. Seems like a pretty good follow-up to the Lion Sash. Happy to take it here and just stick to white so far. It is really late. I'm surprised Rivoke's still up. I feel like it's like probably 2 in the morning or something for Rivoke, I don't know. But it's day 1 of the format, so we're going nice and late tonight. Cowboys Kid says, well shit, now I'm pulling for a server power outage. I want free stuff. That's fair. It's 4:15 a.m. for Rivoke. Oh my god, Rivoke. I hope you were intending to stay up just to play the set anyway. I hope it's not my fault that you're still up. This pack's pretty good. There are a lot of good off-color options. I love the Ironhoof Boar, as we saw last game. It's a nice combat trick that just sometimes wins the game, playing a big old 5/4 trample haste. But Flame Discharge is excellent removal. Malicious Malfunction's really good against more aggressive decks than you are, so if we play like a white-black controlling deck or slower deck, Malicious Malfunction could be pretty good. This would destroy our last deck. But Dragonfly Suit keeps us in white, and it's a pretty good card all by itself. A 3 mana, 3/2 flyer, crew 1. I don't think I want to play multiples of this, but having one of is pretty good. It ends the game pretty quickly. 3 power flying. So, I mean, I like the off-color cards, but I can also just stick to white, so I'm just going to play it safe and a little boring there. Take the Dragonfly Suit. Oh, Nitro says that the Fall of Lord Konda has backfired against a green-white aggro for them. They've just had it in hand and didn't have anything to kill. Yeah, there's definitely chances for it to backfire, but I think any time that it goes off, it's going to be excellent. And it should most games. So what do we want here? We can move into red-white with Reinforced Ronin, but I think this is only good in like the artifact synergy decks, so like red-blue, red-black. Undercity Scrounger, again, probably only good in like Rakdos, or at least best in Rakdos. I like the green enchantment creatures a lot in green-white, because green-white is all about enchantments, so Bamboo Grove Archer or Fang of Shigeki would be fine there. Blue-white, we could take a Moon Circuit Hacker, good combo with like flying creatures. I think I'm just going to push towards green here. We're seeing some solid green stuff get passed around, and here's another one, Web Spinner Cuff. Although, there's also Befriending the Moths, and this card's demolished me a lot. It's pretty slow, but if you're in a decent position where you can attack your opponent with something without just dying on the crackback, this makes your attacks really good. Because you just make something a beefy flyer 2 turns in a row and then make a 2/4 flyer after that. That being said, there's also Prodigy's Prototype, which is pretty fun to try to go blue-white vehicles. This would be easily the pick if we took the blue Ninja last pack. But since we don't have any blue cards yet, still, and this white card is pretty good, gonna play it super safe again. Now there's like nothing well, I mean, there's always decent filler cards. Aki Emberkeeper, fine. Commune with Spirits, fine. For any green deck with a decent amount of enchantments. Lucky Offering. I still don't want a main deck Lucky Offering, but it's been getting me a lot main deck from our opponents. Runaway Trashbot, actually probably pretty great in this format, right? Any artifact deck goes off with this. Any enchantment deck goes off with this as well. Because if you think of it, all of the good channel cards that we've been seeing, channel cards are cards that you can discard for an alternate cost. They've been enchantments. So you could just discard any of those channel cards. They've been enchantments or artifacts, and then you make this bigger. Worst case scenario with 3 mana 0/4, it's not good, but it does something. It sits there and blocks. What is this? What is this doing in here? Pick 7 Oni Cult Anvil, no respect. Card has won me every single game I've casted in, I think. Oni Cult Anvil is just an awesome card. You should slam it down if you see it, like pick 4, pick 5, just slam it down and move to Rakdos if you're in red or black at that point. But because we're in white, and we're in white so heavily, I don't think I can afford to just decide I'm Rakdos now. And also, I probably shouldn't do 3 Rakdos drafts in a row. That might be a bit much. I'd probably take another The Fall of Lord Konda here. And hoping that we play against some big creatures. Alright, and it all pans out fine, because here's a pretty big signal of where we could go. Naomi, Pillar of Order, is very good if you are white-black artifacts and enchantments. That's what the white-black synergies in the set are focused around, trying to have both artifacts and enchantments on the board at the same time. If you do, this card's insane. It's like a miniature Grave Titan. 5 mana for a 4/4 and a 2/2, and every time it attacks, you make another 2/2. So, we'll take Naomi here, try to build around that. If we can get it to go off, it's going to be very, very good. But we see a lot of red and no black. And even last pack, we saw a pick 8, 2 mana, 3 damage burn spell in red, which is good. So, I mean, I think we just take a red card here, because I'm not really going to play an Artificer. Freaking bass fishing within me. Trying desperately to escape. I'm going to take an Ironhoof Boar here. I don't think we're going to have enough artifacts in red-white to make great use of the Steelbreaker, but Ironhoof Boar is just great, even if you don't care about artifacts at all. Peerless Samurai, probably good for the red-white theme. Red-white is about samurai/warriors. Wanderer's Intervention is fine removal. Nothing special, though. Take a Peerless Samurai. Maybe we're red-white samurai instead of white-black. Yeah, the black cards that I'm seeing passed to us here aren't very good. The only good one we've seen is white-black. So while white-black might be open, black is not. Even if nobody's drafting white-black, there's probably a bunch of people drafting blue-black or green-black or something like that. Just take an aggressive red card here. Kumano faces Kakazan. Okay, well now we see Undercity Scrounger and Return to Action. These are decent black cards, and I'm not going blue for Essence Capture. I'll just take the Scrounger. Who knows? We could end up red-white. We could end up white-black. If we open like a green rare mythic, we could even end up green-white. See where things go next pack. But we're definitely in white. Okay.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa, and I will protect my people.
Okay, so we open up the strongest white card in the whole set, the Wandering Emperor. Absolutely insane Planeswalker. You can flash her in, create a 2/2, and then goes to your turn, create another 2/2. That's like a worst case scenario. 4 mana, instant speed, 2/2/2 Vigilance. Absolutely just the stone cold nuts. So really easy pick there. Here we have Spirited Companion, which I like a lot. 2 mana 1/1, draws a card when you play it. Super good with Ninjutsu because you bring it back to your hand, play it again. Super good with green-white enchantments because it's an enchantment. Super good in white-black because you can sacrifice it. Although there's Norika Yamazaki, which is really good if you have a lot of enchantments in your deck because you can recast them. It's one of these two white cards, the Spirited Companion or Norika Yamazaki, and I think I want to check our curve here a bit. Oh, I think I do want to take Spirited Companion over Norika. Just more consistently going to be good no matter how our deck ends up. Whereas we need a lot of enchantments to work with Norika, and I've played multiple decks with Norika now, or at least one deck with Norika, and she just never really went off. We have 2 The Fall of Lord Konda. I don't think I'm going to play 3. I might not think it's narrow enough to not play it, but I think it's narrow enough not to play like a full play set of it. We'll just take a Golden Tail Disciple here. It's super good with the Lion Sash. It's just a nice 3-mana 2/3 lifelinker. Blocks really well. Annoys the heck out of aggressive players. Super happy to take Sunblade Samurai. Excellent white card here. It's the mana when we need it for only 2 mana. And then when we have the mana and we draw it late game, it's a 4/4 Vigilance. It's also a 4/4 Vigilant Samurai, which is really good at triggering your cards that want you to attack with 1 Samurai per turn, because this is very easy. This just becomes the 1 Samurai you attack with, because you attack, you still get to hold that up as a blocker, and you trigger your cards like... I don't think we have... Oh, like Peerless Samurai. There we go. I was going to say, I don't think we have a lot of Samurai that care about that right now. We do have Peerless Samurai as an example. I'm just going to go mono white. I'm just going to take Mothrider Patrol and just stick to white as the core and decide what we do. We'll just draft whatever mythic rare we open in the 3rd pack. Just wait. We'll open another one. Seven-Tail Mentor's fine. It's like a worse version of the 2/3 back in Midnight Hunt. And that card was good, but this is significantly worse. Because you have to wait till it dies to get both the +1/+1 counters out of it. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I just want a Wanderer's Intervention. So we have something to kill small creatures, because all we have is the Fall of Lord Khanda, which only kills big creatures. Sure. Take Wanderer's Intervention. Easy. Another Sunblade Samurai here. Can we go mono white? Probably not. Probably not a thing we should do. It's a thing we can do, though, even if we shouldn't. 3, 4, 5, 6. We cut 6 cards. We'd play a Lucky Offering at that point. We can get there. We could get there and just go mono white. Especially if we take artifacts like Searchlight Companion. Mukotai Ambusher seems pretty good. Really good ninjutsu cost. 3/2 lifelinker. Worst case scenario, 4 mana, 3/2 lifelinker. Not bad. So it's either Searchlight Companion and commit to mono white, or take an Ambusher so we have another good black card. I think I'd rather take the Ambusher. I don't think the Searchlight Companion is going to be particularly exciting if we're mono white. So even if we do end up going that way, we're not really missing much taking the Ambusher over it. And the Ambusher will be really good if we go white-black, because we have the Naomi caring about having an artifact and an enchantment on the board. We've got quite a few enchantments, because we have sagas and enchantment creatures. Not a lot of artifacts, so grabbing another artifact creature is awesome for that. Kitsune Ace is a pretty easy pick here, just a 2-mana 2/2. Don't really have vehicles in here, but a 2-mana 2/2, it fits in the deck. Gets slotted in. We're not that happy with it, but I don't think we're aggressive enough to want the Centipede. It was good in our last deck, because that deck was super, super aggressive, but here, it's just whatever. Reckoner's Bargain would be solid if we're white-black. Imperial Oath is going to be solid either way. 6 mana for 6 power and toughness on the board. It is split amongst 3 2/2s, but you also scry 3. Scry 3 is huge when you have 6 mana out, because every land that you hit off of a Scry 3, by the time that you have 6 mana, is just like you just draw a card straight up. Because lands after 6 mana just don't matter. So Scry 3 is actually really big. So I like Imperial Oath. So I'll just start scooping these up. The Oath has a shockingly high win rate right now, early data. I mean, how high? Like, I definitely think, like, 55 to, I don't know, 56. That's pretty high. Maybe that's an overvalue. It's the number 4 common. It's crazy. It doesn't say, yeah, I mean, it seems pretty good. It seems pretty good, but yeah, I definitely didn't have it that high. Time to tank that rank. Let's play mono white with it and just lose. But we open, I should say, a red-white samurai/warrior rare, so we can really go for the samurai tribal deck in Boros. It's a 64% win rate right now at common. Well, we'll try the Oath out. Does seem pretty good. I'm taking this Ryu. The only thing we're missing if we end up mono white is really the Golden Tail Disciple, because I don't think we have enough Samurai or Warrior in mono white to play the Katana. So we take Ryu, and if we wheel Golden Tail Disciple, then we could still pretend that we're mono white. That's true. That's true. That will really weight it. If it's not getting played often, that's really going to weight the win rate. Yeah, Network Disruptor's sick. That card's ridiculous. 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, tap when it comes into play. Tap something when it comes into play. It just works so well with ninjutsu, and even if you're not ninjutsu... Wow, am I white-black instead? This card's nuts. 4 mana to reconfigure this, and you turn whatever creature you put this on into a 5/5 menace that keeps all of its other abilities. And by itself, it's a 2 mana 3/1 menace artifact creature. Never mind. Sorry, Boros. Sorry, Boros Samurai. We're Orzhov Artifacts and Enchantments now. And Blade Blizzard Kitsune is absolutely wild with the Blade of the Oni. So I think I'll take that here. It's also just really good by itself. Subduer would be, more combos with the Samurai stuff, but we're going black-white instead. I guess we don't have a ton of cheap removal, so Lethal Exploit would be fine, but we have Double Intervention, which is worse, but I think not enough worse to want to take a Lethal Exploit here. Alright, we're black-white again. Let's take the Scrounger. Take the Ambusher. Take Naomi. Okay. 1 mana 2/1 artifact creature seems fine. It's aggressive. It's an artifact for cards like Naomi. But I could also take a Lethal Exploit here. We have 13 creatures though. Is Mardu out of the question? 3 colors not viable? I generally don't like to run 3 colors and probably wouldn't here, even if we take cards like Terrarium. Because I don't like to run 3 colors unless we're a pretty slow deck. Like a pretty slow splashy deck. And I don't think any of our red cards are good enough to be something we really want to splash in here. Because our best one is Ryu, and that only combos with Samurai stuff. So I don't know. I don't think I want to go Mardu. I tend to play 2 colors probably too much, but like way more often than anybody else in almost every format. Alright, we need more creatures. Let's get another cheap one here. The Silencer seems good. Dakuchi Silencer. Although we have some Saga creatures in here. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 Saga creatures in here, so we kind of have 16 creatures. So we're actually fine. But I'm still going to take Silencer. It's a pretty threatening ability that might make them want to block it where they wouldn't otherwise. Nezumi Blade Blesser kind of fits with our artifact/enchantment theme. Although the Kami does as well, and we don't have a lot of 4 mana cards, and this has a better effect if we have an artifact plus enchantment out. 4 mana 3/4 draw a card? Yeah. Take the Kami of Terrible Secrets. We already have 1 Dragonfly Suit. I don't want another. We have better removal than Kunai, so I don't want that. I guess a return to action could be good. Makes it real hard for your opponent to race, because you get lifelink out of nowhere and bring your creature back in a trade. I already have double intervention, don't think I want a 3rd. Alright, well, Katana here then. If you're like green-white with just a ton of enchantment creatures, this Regent's Authority seems like a sick trick. But I wouldn't have that many enchantment creatures, it just seems fine here. I'll take a Katana. Because we have what? We have 1 warrior. No, we have 1 warrior, 2 samurai. We'll actually take the authority over that. We're probably not playing either. Alright, happy to wheel Golden Tail Disciple. Definitely play that lifelinking nerd. I don't know what I was going to call it, but it wasn't that. Subduer doesn't do a lot by itself. But we don't really have good ways to use Searchlight Companion, so we'll take Subduer anyway. We'll take Infiltrator, and we need to build a deck. So we get to cut 6 cards? 7 cards? 8 cards? 8 cards. I can do math. Wow. This deck, we were like back and forth for a really long time. Didn't even decide our last color till the second pick of the last pack. And I can still cut like 8 cards. I feel like there's just so many good cards in the set. It feels like you're always going to end up with just a ton of cards to cut and a ton of different ways you could build your deck. Because this is already, like, we've cut 5 cards already. We still have 8 more to cut. I mean, I guess we stayed really heavy into white the whole time, so whatever the second color ended up being, we were going to have plenty of good white cards. So there's that. Okay. Don't know how I feel about these two, but I love the rest of our non-creatures. Intervention's a bit weak, but we need removal. I absolutely love Banishing Slash. This card's just awesome in the format. Everyone's always playing an artifact or enchantment. Even if they're not, shoot a tapped creature. And if we have an artifact and enchantment on board, which is definitely possible in this deck, we get to spit out a 2/2 Samurai on top of our removal spell. Absolutely absurd. Wandering Emperor, obviously, absurd. Incredible. Both of those in one word. We've created a new word for how good the Wandering Emperor is. Okay. I don't know what to cut. We have to cut 8 things. This is not fair. There's too many good cards in this format. We have 6 artifacts and 8 enchantments. We don't have any ninjutsu cards to use the Infiltrator with, but it's still fine by itself. It just doesn't do anything awesome. Inserd. Yeah, Inserd. That has to be the new deck name. It's insane and absurd. Blade of the Oni's nuts. Blade of the Oni's Inserd. 2 mana, 3/1 menace, 4 mana to equip to anything and make it a 5/5 menace. Equip it to a Spirited Companion. Equip it to a Lion Sash, and the Lion Sash still has the +1/+1 counters too, so it's like a 7/7 menace or something. Kitsune's doesn't do anything because we have 1 vehicle. Undercity Scrounger doesn't do much either. Although it is an artifact creature, so we're about to cut an artifact out of the deck. Imperial Subduer, we don't have a lot of warriors or samurai, so it only really works with itself. I think I'm cool to cut all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to cut 1 more card, and it could be a land with double Sunblade Samurai to help. Can play a 16 land deck and have 2 Sunblade Samurai to have 2 more planes in the deck. When we draw those early game, and then when we draw them late game, we got all the benefits of playing a 16 land deck without any downsides. I think I'm pretty happy to just cut a land here and call it a day. Especially because we have cards that make us happy that we cycled them. The Runaway Trash Bot singular makes us happy if we channel a card. I guess we only ended up with 2 cards to channel, so these Trash Bots are not very quick. This is a 3 mana 0/4 or a 3 mana 1/4 a lot of the time, until very late in the game. But we have 8 enchantments and 5 artifacts. So later in the game, it's going to be big, but maybe we actually cut that instead. And if we cut that, we could maybe put something else in and cut a land, or we could just cut that and keep 17 lands. I think I'm going to cut the Trash Bot for a Subduer. Might be weird. Well, if I cut this, I'm down to only 4 artifacts. I kind of want to put another artifact in here to make Naomi and Banishing Slash trigger more often, because they're both very, very good if you have an artifact and an enchantment. So we could cut Runaway Trashbot for the Undercity Scrounger and just see, is this like secretly just a Rakdos gold card and it does absolutely nothing in any other deck, or do the treasure tokens actually help us now and then? Sure. Yeah, we'll try that card out, I guess. Undercity Scrounger and black-white. Oh wait, no, we have a Lethal Exploit in the side. I'd rather play Lethal Exploit than a Wanderer's Intervention. If nothing else, I'll cut a Wanderer's Intervention for this. Does he target anything? It is less damage, it's only -2/-2, but it doesn't have to be an attacking or blocking creature. So do I cut a land here instead? Or do I cut an intervention, put that other card back in? I forgot what I'm looking at here. Oh yeah, creature count. 13 creatures plus 3 sagas. Still 16 creatures. Still plenty good. The Wandering Emperor with Wanderer's Intervention is really good flavor. That's true. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. We'll just cut a land here. We have double Sunblade Samurai for a white source, and only one double white card, the Wandering Emperor, so I'll cut a Plains, I think. Although 6 black cards to 19. Well, 6 black symbols to 19 white symbols. But the only double white card... No, we have Wandering Emperor and Banishing Slash that need double white. We have a turn 1 white play. Yeah, sure. We'll actually... Do we cut a swamp, put another Plains back in, go 7-9? I feel like we go 7-9. Although Blade of the Oni wants double black to reconfigure. And it is very powerful if we reconfigure it. It's, I don't know, it's weird because having the 2 cards that can pull a Plains out of the deck makes me kind of think that we cut a Plains before a swamp. But we're not always playing them that way. It's going to be dumb. I'm just going to 8-8 split it. And ride our Sunblade Samurais to victory. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, we need to draw lands, though. But not that badly, because we're still playing a Mythic Rare turn 2. If we draw lands and we get to play turn 2 Blade of the Oni into turn 3 Blade Blizzard Kitsune, and then turn 4 make it a 5/5 Double Strike Menace, I wouldn't be mad if our opponent just, like, reached through the internet and strangled me on the spot. I'd just be like, yeah, that's fair. Alright, our 2-mana 3/1 Menace is out, our Equipment Demon. That for 4 mana equips one of our cards, turns it into a 5/5 Menace, in addition to its other types and abilities. So 2 mana from our opponent, they're on green-blue. Weaver of Harmony is the play, never seen the card before. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1, and for 1 green and tap it. Copy an activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. That's a super fun card. Wow, I want to play that. I want to play around with that in Historic Brawl. I am sure we're going to see that a ton in green-white Historic Brawl decks. Opponent's computer is going to get thrown out the window if we can hit some land. If we hit a swamp next turn, yeah. If we hit a swamp next turn, RIP opponent's computer. Oh, Master's Rebuke for Blade of the Oni. Well, if we hit any land next turn, we're still playing the Wandering Emperor, which is still probably grounds for the destruction of a PC. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. We're just not hitting for 10 menace damage turn 4. We're just going to flash in a Planeswalker. Geothermal Kami, a 4/3. They can return an enchantment to their hand to gain 3 life if they want. Which they might want to do here because it doesn't block well anyway. So yeah, they do. So here's the Wandering Emperor, Mythic Rare number 2. Here's the Samurai.
Let your blade do the talking.
And we don't have any modified creatures. But we can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and then we do. So we can put a +1/+1 creature on our, or +1/+1 counter on our Double Striker. Now we have a modified card, so this does -3/-3. We get to attack in and play a Lion Sash and still have 2 Wanderer's Interventions. And now our Double Striker does 6. I'm sorry, opponent. There's no sorry button, so I'll just say thanks. This is insane. I don't know if this is the craziest start I've ever had in this format so far, but it's definitely the most bomb heavy. We were just like, alright. Mythic, uncommon, mythic, rare. I think the Rakdos deck we played last time might have had a more explosive start to this by a little bit, but not a lot. That time we took a constructed deck into limited. Pretty true. So Lion Sash can get a bunch of +1/+1 counters here, but it requires a white mana each time. Play a Spirited Companion. See if we hit another land. We do. Pretty nice. We can reconfigure the Sash onto something if we want. How do we get lethal here? They have to block here. So they take 1, 2, 3, 4, We don't get lethal here. That's how. We just don't. So let's just make another 2/2, I guess. And make the Lion Sash bigger. Whoa! I mean, this is currently lethal. A trick? A surprise? A ruse? A Master's Rebuke? That's unfortunate. That's a really bad time for our opponent. I feel like it might happen here. This might be the time where my prediction comes true, and you're just gonna see a fist off screen. Somebody just doxed me and came here right now, because that was not a fair game of Magic. We are 1-0. Just riding off some insane rares, and yeah. We need to draw lands, but if we do, we're just right back at it again. Emperor again, yes indeed. Lion Sash, turn 2. We haven't hit a land yet, which is concerning. Lethal exploit to kill the Lion Sash. There's a land. Play a Double Striker or a Lifelinker. Double Striker pairs really well with the Wandering Emperor because of her ability to put +1/+1 counters as a +1 ability. So we'll play Blade Blizzard Kitsune. And Soul Transfer to exile that. Okay, fair enough. Now they can't exile target Planeswalker. We'll play our 2/3 Lifelinker here. We have nothing to exile with the Fall of Lord Konda. They have 4 mana up now. The Long Reach of Night. Each opponent sacrifices a creature unless they discard a card. Does this count as a 0 mana creature on the backside because it doesn't have a cost on the backside, or does it count as a 4 mana creature because the Saga costs 4? Because if I can't exile it with the Fall of Lord Konda because it doesn't count as mana value 4 or greater, I think I discard that. I think it costs 0 mana when it's the backside because it doesn't have a mana cost printed on the side. I'm not sure. I am unsure. Well, we don't have any black mana. We'll discard the black card this turn. Esper from our opponent, white, blue, and black. There's Tameshi, Reality Architect. Whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. Not even you control. If I return something to my hand, they draw a card. Wow. Spend a white and X, return a land they control to its owner's hand, return an artifact or enchantment with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield? Oh my god. This card's insane. Okay, well, at least it's only as a sorcery. I think I played Dragonfly Suit. So that I have an artifact and enchantment out when I cast the Banishing Slash. But for now I attack with 2 Disciples and they probably won't block because I threatened to combat trick to kill Tameshi. They block. My opponents are always bold. Oh no, they have their own trick. Oh, Wanderer's Intervention if something went bad. Alright, that's fair. They had a Wanderer's Intervention in case I tried to combat trick. My opponents always show me what a coward I am. Oh, Animus of Night's Reach is a 0/4? Oh, when it attacks, it gets +X. Okay. Attacks for 3 with Menace. So a little painful. But it's probably more painful if I put it in their grave and let them recast it. So let's exile it with the Fall of Lord Konda if we can. I don't know if we can. I feel like if I play this, it just doesn't do anything. This is gonna hurt. I feel like I'm gonna Banishing Slash this thing. But then they just make us discard more cards, and they're gonna draw a card off Tameshi. Guess I can slash Tameshi instead. Which is fine. Sure, let's slash Tameshi. We'll just take some hits from this terrifying spirit. So we still race pretty well because lifelink. Yeah, we stopped drawing lands, Cowboys kid. Wandering Emperor might just not happen. What is this? Destroy a creature planeswalker for only 4 mana, and it's cheaper if they control an artifact or enchantment, so they get to do it for only 2 mana. Well, that's pretty good. There goes our flyer. We still outrace the Animus. Ooh, not if they do that. So here, we don't really attack in anymore. We just pass the turn and hold up an intervention. Blow up their menace creature, now it's a top deck war. They have 1 card in hand, we have the Wandering Emperor. It's a top deck war where if we hit a land, we win the top deck war. So it feels very much in our favor. Because that means every single land in our deck wins the top deck war, and anything that costs 3 or less is good. So I feel like it's pretty great overall. A pretty great position. No way, that is very bad. Very, very bad. It's an excellent start to the card draw war. We're gonna have to discard 2 more cards or sack 2 more things. There we go. The Wandering Emperor at the ready to kind of shut off the long reach of night here. I could flash it in right now and sack the Samurai instead of discarding the Fall of Lord Konda, but they have nothing that the Fall of Lord Konda can kill anyway, so I'll discard that. And just play the Wandering Emperor in their end step. What a cool reveal that the Wanderer is the Emperor of Kamigawa. I absolutely loved that. Just absolutely loved that. Alright, so now we just get immense value off the Wandering Emperor. 2/2.
I'm home. Guard.
We have a Sunblade Samurai if we hit 1 more land. I think I keep that in hand here. 2/2 again, I think.
We must protect the people.
Well, they have a big Menacer to attack her with, but we have enough blockers that we should be able to double block and protect her and just win the game off of her. Do have to hit a land to do that, because we need to play the Samurai for another blocker here. What kind of combat tricks are this? Oh, it's probably just getting Scrounger value and attempting to kill the Wandering Emperor. But I'm super happy with these trades. Alright, tokens, do your thing. Put the Disciple there as well so we gain life in the process. Might as well. Oh, and they could mess up the ordering too. Although this does let them do -1/-1 to Disciple. Oh, I see. So they kill it and draw a card. So that's pretty fine. Not the worst thing ever. They can make us discard the Sunblade Samurai, or they can put 2 counters on one of their creatures. We can force them to just get 2 +1/+1 counters if I cycle the Samurai here. But then if I cycle the Samurai and I top deck a land, then I can't play a 3rd creature to be able to block their Menace card. think I give them the choice, because if they make us discard this, then this is only a 4 toughness menace creature because it doesn't have any counters on it. So I double block with these two, right? And the Wanderer doesn't die because she takes 1 and she'll be at 2. So I think I give them the option, because if they choose to make me discard, then we have good blocks for this. Otherwise, if we don't top deck a land, we don't have good blocks. Because if we don't top deck a land and they put counters on it, then it has 6 toughness, and we'll have 5 power to block it with. Okay, and this way, unless they top deck something, we can still just block the Animus here.
Got new moves to teach you.
And then they just hit the Wanderer for 1. And then the Wanderer's still around, we have another turn to draw something. I should have played this land. I don't know why I forgot there. But now if we draw our second 4/4 Vigilance, it's going to be real awkward. It's going to be real awkward. Counting up the creatures in grave, it is 6. Alright. Get that off the board, and the top deck war resumes, because the Wanderer is not long for this world, but we'll have a 2/2 Samurai against their 1/4 and 1/1. So my options are to +1 the Wanderer, and then they attack with both creatures, put her to 1. Or I -1 the Wanderer to make a 2/2, they attack her with both creatures, I kill the Virus Beetle, and they kill her. So then it's a 2/2 Samurai versus a 1/4 Scrounger. Oh... I feel like I would rather just guaranteed get a 2/2 Samurai than just +1 and hope for the best. I guess if I +1 and hope for the best, they do hit her for 2, she's still at 1, and then we can just cash in on the Samurai that turn anyway. I think we get the 2/2 here, because now we guaranteed kill the Virus Beetle, because they attack Emperor with both. So we at least get something out of her other than the 2/2. If we did the other way and they put her down to 1 loyalty right now and we have nothing on board, then it's possible, yeah, we just draw a land, then we make a 2/2 and we don't even get to kill one of their creatures. Because she would die when we have a 1 loyalty Wanderer and we minus her. Alright. It's a full-on top deck war. Probably should have played this land because our opponent's played like 2 Virus Beetles already. Dokuchi Silencer. 2/2 trades into that. Oh my god, Imperial Oath is so good here. It's so good here, and these draws are so good. Every one of them is solid. I think I'll just keep them all, right? But Blade of the Oni first, and then Intervention probably. Maybe Mothrider Patrol's a bit slow, but being able to tap a creature every turn, even if we don't hit with it. Got it. Oh my god. Well, this is the first time I've cast Imperial Oath, and it's absolutely disgusting here. But that's because we're in a top deck war. Opponent saying you put all 3 on top. Yeah, that's gotta be a terrifying experience for our opponent. That's for sure. Boop, boop. Hello, Blade of the Oni. So now we're just gonna have a 5/5 Vigilance Menace Samurai Demon, which is a horrifying thought. Flavorfully, a terrifying card, the Blade of the Oni. Whatever attacks they go for, we're going to block it all, because we don't want them to kill the Blade of the Oni, which they could with Dokuchi Silencer's ability, if they hit us. Alright, here we go. Now we just start doing the thing. 5/5 Menace Vigilance Demon Samurai. Oh, look at that. It's white and black now. Oh, that's so cool. They have to double block. And that's only 4 power, so it doesn't even kill it, so seems all good to me. And we're just going to counter that with Wanderer's Intervention. So we keep our demon out and kill both of their creatures. And they're just going to scoop them up here with the GG. Or it's just... Alright, well that means I probably lose. I guess it's the GG I probably lose. But they're going to play it out here. There's the Moth Rider Patrol. Send in the squad. Nothing dies and we deal 9. Another return to action. So they gain a couple life here, I guess, but definitely don't kill the Scrounger in the process. Now we'll play our Moth Rider Patrol, which will probably be used to tap down the Undercity Scourger. Scourger. Yeah, we get 2 damage in instead of 1 damage in by tapping that down. So it is slightly more damage efficient that way. They're down to 2, 1 final draw step. And we get their Blade of the Oni doing disgusting things after that Imperial Oath. Okay. That one was a long one. We were stuck on mana for a while. But when we started getting the mana, just the ridiculous card quality of the rares in our deck. Take it back. And the Imperial Oath was huge. That was a huge common. Alright. Opponent goes first. We're on a mono black hand. I don't think we can afford to keep that when we don't have a Sunblade Sentinel in hand to cycle for our planes. This seems like a mulligan. Blade of the Oni, 3 lands. 3 lands for the 3 mana. Oh yeah, the Wandering Emperor loves just wandering right into the openers. Whether or not we have to mulligan them or not. I guess we'll take the other mythic. Blade of the Oni it is. Our opponent's got a nice slow start here. The Reckoner Bankbuster is a good card. Sits there drawing them cards 3 turns, and after that it spits out a creature that's big enough to crew it because of the pilot ability. We'll probably blow that up with our Banishing Slash, but I'd love to wait till we have an artifact and an enchantment out, but that probably won't happen because they've just blown up our 1 artifact. They just draw 1 card off of the Bankbuster. It's already done a good job here. I think it kind of just does its thing. Right, because if I don't blow it up right now, it's going to draw them 2 cards total. So I feel like I have to blow it up here. So it's accomplished its goal. It drew them a card and forced us to use our removal. Alright. Good job, Bankbuster. Four mana, Heiko Yamazaki. There we go, 4 mana creature. The Fall of Lord Konda it is, so they don't just immediately recast their vehicle from the grave with Yamazaki's ability there. Uh-oh. Now a Selfless Samurai as well. At least we have Wanderer's Intervention to try to kill that. Ancestral Katana. Intervention is no longer big enough to kill it. Unless they try to get the free equip. Yeah. The greed. The greed has destroyed you today. Or whatever. Some quote that I don't know. Alright, well. And we're sitting here gaining some life. Whenever they play something to attack us, we can trump block and draw a card. Lion Sash is such a great draw. That's a massive draw. I actually probably should have just equipped it to the Disciple there. That was probably a misplay. Probably should have just put 3 counters on it and then slapped it on Disciple for lifelink here. And I think I should still do that so that creature removal can't kill it. Only artifact removal can kill it here. So it's a bit awkward. I should have or equipped it earlier. But I think it's still better to equip it now than to not have it equipped. Do we have another permanent? We do have a permanent engrave. Goodbye. Mythic rare. My apologies. Alright. I should have done that sooner. But I'm still going to do it now so they can't do 4 damage to it. However much they need to do. Oh, hello. The Wandering Emperor has wandered right back into hand. These aren't good jokes. I don't know why I'm trying to say things. Let's just hit for 5. Let's just sit for 5 and play a ridiculous deck full of mythics and rares and give our opponents a terrible time. Okay, 2 cards in hand. Uh-oh. You drew removal for the Disciple now? An extra 2 damage will do it. We'll still have our Golden Tail, we'll still have our Lion Sash, though. I could flash in the Wandering Emperor right now, and then put a counter on Disciple and be like, ha, I got you. But then we don't get to use the ability twice, so it might not be worth it. I don't know. I'll just be I'll be a jerk. Okay.
Who harms my people must contend with me.
They're over it. That's fair. So we get to play the Emperor there and then make it a 3 toughness creature, so their 2 damage spell just doesn't work. It's pretty rude. I don't know if it's like definitely the right thing to do, but it keeps the lifelinker on board. It's probably right, because we just keep hitting with a gigantic lifelinker. So we're 3-0 now with this absolutely absurd deck. Wandering Emperors won 2 of the games. The other game was won by the Demon Blade. We get 1 more use out of the Wanderer if we flash her in during their turn, but what's that 1 more use going to do? Now we get 2 2/2s instead of 1 2/2? Right? But that way it's like we get 1 2/2 in our next turn, and we save our like lifelinking 3/4. That's got to be better than a random 2/2 Samurai Dork. So yeah, that's fair. I think it was the right thing. This hand is very nice. Love getting a double striker out turn 3 and really scaring our opponent. We are probably trading this 2/1 into that 1/1 Death Toucher, because this 2/1 is going to trade for literally anything else, and that Death Toucher is just going to trade up into so much of our stuff. Alright, the trade occurs. Now here is a double striker. So if you don't put a good blocker down, you start taking some beefy hits. Or you can arrest our creature, and then I'll just be sad. It can't crew either, which is really important to note, because we have a vehicle in hand, or Dragonfly Suit. So I think I still want to play Dragonfly Suit, so next turn I can play Disciple and crew the suit. Attack for more damage that way, plus flying is big. Don't care too much about lifelink until they start actually having some creatures on board. Oh. It's their own Blade Blitzard Kitsune. Well, our 2/3 lifelinker can block that and they'll trade with each other, but if they play a combat trick, it'll be a really bad time. I can't afford to attack in now, because I attack in, hit for 3, then they crack back for 4, and I don't have any blockers up. So hope for no tricks from our opponent. They could still attack in if they don't have tricks, so I think I have to block if they attack. Because if they attack without tricks, it is a trade, so there is a decent reason they might want to just attack here. Even without tricks in hand. With tricks in hand, it's disastrous for us. Okay, so they just wanna trade. Fair enough. Trade our 3 mana cards, and then there's a Sunblade Samurai from our opponent. Time to do great the Fall of Lord Konda things again. Get out of here, Samurai. And eventually we'll get a 1/3 That'll draw us a card when it chump blocks. The Fragment of Conda, actually kind of adorable artwork. He's all scared. He's like, oh no. The marble or whatever is falling apart. Oh no. Oh no. Season of Renewal, always an exceptional deal. Has been a super good card in every black-white deck I've tried so far. Oops! Oops! Arena's gone! Okay, give me a second. I clicked on OBS instead of Arena. Okay. Horrific flavor text, though. This has flavor text in there? It's got a mountain of text, and it has flavor text? I don't know where the flavor text is. Or are you talking about a different card? Oh, it is Lord Conda turned to stone as punishment and then shattered? What the heck? Untapped shows it? Oh, that's nice. Well, that's spooky. Well, yeah, we're chump blocking here. We can't exile any of their creatures with this, so we just hold it in hand for now. We can crew our suit, but they outrace us a lot. This double striker here. Befriending the Moss, they really outrace us because now it's flying and hitting for 6. I don't think it's worth a chump block because they're just going to hit us for 6 again next turn. Oh. That's really not what we're looking for. Well, might be over here. Well, it wouldn't be over. We'll be 3-1, but I mean, this game might be over. What shall they befriend with the moths? Taking quite some time on the decision here. I'm just going to slam it on the double striker, hit for 6 in the sky again. I probably actually should have chump blocked in the first place, because then we stop 12 damage. Well, no, we don't stop 12 damage. We stop 6 then, or we stop 6 now, because we don't trade. Sorry, my brain is starting to turn to mush. Yeah, so it was really just, do we want to stop 6 damage last turn, or stop 6 damage this turn, or do we just never stop the damage? Take another 6, go down to 6 life. Take it all. Just take it all. Because now if we draw the 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature, we could crew, block, and kill the flyer, because we have a flying creature to block with. Maybe. There's a Sunblade Samurai on the ground. So we're blocking the double striker on the ground with that. We were already going to block on the ground with the Fragment of Conda. I guess if we get into a position, oh no, that's disgusting. If we get into a position where they have lethal no matter what, then I can go ahead and test my theory that the sagas are 0 mana because they don't have a mana cost on the backside. But I'm pretty sure, like the Imperial Moth, pretty sure this counts as a 0. Fall does kill the Moth. It is still a 4-drop. That would be a 0 on the backside. We're actually, no, we're not dead. Very close to dead because a second befriending the Moths. Definitely dead next turn though. It is still a 4-drop. That's super nice. Okay. That's incredibly helpful to know, but we are dead in the sky. Keeps the front's value because it's transformed, not a modal double-faced card. Okay, cool. We don't have any artifacts out, so Naomi doesn't even do anything, but we're taking 6 in the sky from befriending the moths on the double striker again. Really unfortunate game here. Just some really good 1-2 punch combos from our opponent. Getting the double striker on the board and then having 4 turns in a row of giving the double striker +1/+1 flying. Gonna be super hard to beat if we don't draw removal for the double striker, and we did not. This looks like a really good start. We have Lion Slash holding a lethal exploit to protect it. Got our own befriending the moths later. Keep it. That was legit the first game you saw me lose tonight, so we're doing well. Well, yeah, we 7-0'd the last draft, so a 7-0 into a 3-0 start is pretty nuts. Probably gonna Spirited Companion before I Lion Sash, because Lion Sash doesn't do much until there's stuff in the grave. Spirited Companion here. They hit just as hard until there are cards in grave. Well, there's a permanent in the grave now for the Lion Sash. Your opponent is ramping up with that 1-1. So they have 4 mana out here. If they play a 4-drop, we'll just exile it. If they play a 3-drop, just a 3 mana 2/3. So what do we do here? Nothing that we can Banishing Slash except our own creature. That seems pretty awful to do. I could just play our Lion Sash and make it a 2/2. Because I'm not gonna use the Fall of Lord Konda. I'm not gonna use the Silencer because if I attack in, they'll just block with a 2/3, and I don't want to use Lethal Exploit against their 2/3 right now. That also just doesn't seem worth it. Yeah, I think I just play the Lion Sash. The adorable meowing equipment cat Lion Sash. So they have 5 cards in hand, 4 mana up in their green-black deck. There is a 4-drop Jukai Preserver, excellent target for the Fall of Lord Konda, and that is probably my plan next turn. Although I also have the mana for befriending the moths if I want to get spicy. Which is a possibility. But I don't think I want to do that. Because we just hit for 3 if we do that, which is not hitting very hard. I could Banishing Slash the Jukai Preserver because we have an artifact and enchantment out. That's actually probably better. And then we still have the Fall of Lord Konda for their next big creature, which they'll probably have if they're playing ramp spells like this Human Monk. And we can do that and have the Dokuchi Silencer mana. Then we can ninjutsu our Spirited Companion. Oh my god, yeah, there's so much going for that play. Because we ninjutsu just to pick our companion up to play it again to draw another card later. So destroy an enchantment, create a 2/2 because we have an enchantment and an artifact. Then we get to attack both. We get to use the Silencer's ninjutsu just to pick up the companion, so we play it next turn to draw another card. And I could even discard the companion to kill their 3/4 if I want. I think I'd rather just draw another card off of it. This card's so cool. I just now realized that combo of ninjutsu, pick up a creature, and then just discard what you pick up to kill their best creature. That's so cool. That's so spicy. And it looks really cool when you do it too, because it makes the sound and your cards like flip around and you're like, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have 5 mana. Lion Sash can get 1 more counter. Guess we can kind of force a block on the Silencer, can't we? The Fall of Lord Konda is not going to kill the air, it only costs 3. Lethal Exploit isn't going to kill it, we have 1 modified creature. Yeah. So it's a -3, -3. So if we equip Sash to Silencer, it's a 3/2, and then we -3, that becomes a 1 something. So if I move the Sash plus Lethal Exploit, I guess I can get there. But I don't have the mana to do that and play Spirited Companion. I guess I could attack with just the Sash without moving it, and the Sash can become a 3/3. And a 3/3 against a 1/2, we still just get there. So, Spirited Companion, +1/+1 counter on the Sash, and attack with the Sash. No blocks. I should have attacked with the 2/2 as well. Just a 2/2 can kill the air with Lethal Exploit, giving -3, -3. That was a pretty big miss. We should have easily attacked with the Samurai too. Gotten more damage in there. Alright, the 5/6 is coming in. 2/3 if we minus it. I think we go for the chump here. Fade into Antiquity to exile the Sash. Last chance for -3, -3 from Exploit. But that doesn't do a lot. We still just kill the 1/1. Alright. Pass to our turn. 6 mana up, we Imperial Oath here and just have a boatload of blockers. Get ready to befriend the Moths in the future for a way to get in, and the Fall of Lord Konda in the future as well is going to be big. Wanderer's Intervention might be big enough. We block this with a 2/2 and kill it. Might be big enough to matter. It's only 2 mana to do it. But even just lands are helpful here, because then we can spend 3 mana to play our Disciple and 4 to play Befriending the Moths, or 3 for the Fall and 4 for Befriending the Moths. So actually maybe we just even want to land on top. Land, and our plan next turn is to the Fall of Lord Konda to get rid of the Sashiro, and then Befriending the Moths to hit for 3. I actually kind of like the land. And just whatever's after the land. One of the very few times I actually want to keep a land with my 6 mana Scry spell. Alright, 13-13, but our opponent has the much bigger board. Which is fair enough, them playing the green deck here. Okay. Show me the spice, because I'm going to kill this Heir of the Ancient Fang. Okay, no spice, but I did give them a 3-for-1, because I did a block with a 1 toughness creature along all the 2 toughness creatures. But I think we're fine, because we're going to kill Sashiro, and now they just have a Jukai trainee that we can double block to kill. We can also just use Lethal Exploit to kill it. To play it safe, we could just kill it right now instead of playing Befriending the Moths. I think it's okay to just double block with some Samurai though. And save Lethal Exploit for a rainy day. If they have some kind of flying creature off their black mana, it'd certainly be worse for us. Two cards left in their hand now. Send in the trainee, show me the trick. Prove it. Okay. Trade one of our creatures into one of theirs. Perfectly fair. Invoke the Ancients. 2 4/5s off of one card. Okay. That is not good. They have Reach too? That is actively bad. Lethal Exploit is still very helpful here. So we can just be like, oh, I didn't know they had Reach. Cool. So we get to kill one of them here. We couldn't really do well on blocks, but we're probably still dying to the other one. Yeah, if we tried to kill it on blocks, we make it a 2/3, and we have a 2/2 and a 2/3 out, so we have to double block one and give it -2/2. On attacks, because we got that +1/+1, we just need to kill it right on the spot. Alright, both our sagas transform here. No attacks from our opponent, love that. And now we have a 1/3 trump blocker that draws us a card when it trump blocks. We don't have anything that gets in, but like board state is stable. We're staring at each other now, which is a pretty good place to be after they play something explosive like Invoke the Ancients. I think we're doing fine. The top deck war cometh. Not an ideal start to it. But it seems like our opponent isn't getting much either. They haven't done anything here for a couple turns. Fade into Antiquity on the lifelinker, sure. Draw our card here. Ooh, Naomi. Do we draw an artifact? We don't, so I would rather Imperial Oath first and wait till we have an artifact out for Naomi. So we spit out a Samurai as well. So Imperial Oath, bunch of 2/2s, scry 3, couple great draws. Double Sunblade Samurai? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. Flying doesn't matter, they've got a 4/5 reach. We'll just keep the Samurai, get rid of the vehicle. Greater Tanuki, big old 6/5 trample. Well, here's a big 4/4 vigilance, and we are staring at each other again. We're back to the awkward standoff. Just looking deep into each other's eyes. What do you have? What do you have? Nothing that gives Death Touch at instant speed, right? There's like plus a bunch, or destroy a creature that's been dealt damage. I think we just block with everything. So no matter how big the +X is, we don't die to a 15/15 trample or something. The fact that this has trample and there are a lot of combat tricks in the set, I feel like it's just the massive block. Just snap block with everybody. They're going to kill all of our 2/2s. Alright, we still have the blockers for the 4/5. They have 2 cards left in hand, no more creatures. Oh, Season of Renewal, always disgusting late game like this. Picks the Tanuki right back up alongside another creature. Just play Naomi here to have more power down, so they don't have good attacks. Unfortunate to have her out without an artifact. We do what we gotta do. Now we have double blocks for Tanuki and double blocks for the 4/5. We wouldn't if we didn't have another 4/4 out. We'd only block one of them well. 17 cards left now. Kami of Terrible Secrets. No artifact to draw the card off of it, but it's still a 3/4, which affects the board, helps us block. How many artifacts do we have left in the deck? We have Blade of the Oni. We have our vehicle on the bottom. I should have kept that. I totally forgot about the fact that it's an artifact could matter here. A 3/2 flyer isn't good here because this big old reach, but an artifact is. So that doesn't even count because it's on the bottom. So we just have Blade of the Oni. Yeah, we've got that and Mukotai Amateur. So 2 left out of these 16 cards. I guess 2 left out of the 15. Wait, let's do the math. 2 left out of the 13 cards that we don't know about. I feel like that's, in general, going to take a while. We should just play a 3/4. Yeah, we do. We have a Rat Ninja, and we have a Blade. Just 2. I'm going to need to get a drink after this game. My throat is starting to get a little angry again. It's actually very painful. Out of nowhere. I usually stop the stream at like the 5 or 6 hour marks, like 6.5 hours. My throat is just like, hey, you are not used to this. There's a lifelinker. I think we just plop it down there. Yeah, we got it the turn after we cast the Kami too. That is really that is unfortunate. Oh, Wanderer's Intervention. That's a thing. Give our flyers room to get in. They block with the reach creature. I feel like if I attack with Naomi, they block with a 6/5. I mean, Naomi spits out a 2/2 when we attack, and then Wanderer's Intervention makes sure whatever they block with dies. Seems fine to me. We could send in the Moth instead if I just really want to kill the reach creature. But there's a chance they block with the reach creature here. Oh my god. I was going to say, yeah, if they block with the reach creature here and I get to keep the Moth and kill the reach creature, then this is just incredible for us. Yeah, this is excellent. Now we have a clock. Hitting them for 2 a turn, a 4-turn clock. And there's the Blade of the Oni too, to just make it dramatically faster. 2-turn clock and a reach creature doesn't even save them. They need 2 creatures that can block a flyer because of Menace. Even if they have a removal spell to kill the Moth, we can slap the Blade onto something else. Probably the Lifelinker to send that in, trade it into a Tanuki if they double block. And then we just start throwing it on the Menace creatures. This is nuts. We could have put them to 1 life if I attacked with everybody last turn. Because they'd only block 4. So they'd have to let the 2/2 in. Oh, they've got the fancy GG. So it looks like that is game. Nothing to block the Menace 5/5 flyer. Turn 2 Lion Sash, a lethal exploit to hold on to. We could ambush them with this Ninjutsu Lifelinker off of the Lion Sash, because an early game Lion Sash doesn't do all that much, so bouncing it to the Ambusher seems fine to me. Turn 3 Disciple if we don't bounce it. Definite keep. Opponent is on the play with a blue deck. Mono blue so far. Excellent draw for us. We've got the Wandering Emperor coming out turn 4. So would I rather have a Lion Sash and a Lifelinker down? Or just a 3/2 Lifelinker instead of a 2/3 Lifelinker? Pretty unsure. I mean, I don't think Lion Sash matters all that much at all. But we do trigger everything that cares about having an artifact and enchantment by playing Golden Tail Disciple. Well, when they give that a super fancy animation like this, it's really hard to resist, but I'm gonna not ninjutsu here. And there's the Golden Tail Disciple. Because it's 3 damage on the board either way. This way it's spread against more creatures, so it's better against removal. I guess we played the Ambusher and we immediately hit for 3 this turn instead of just 1. I really gotta learn ninjutsu and get better with it. That was probably my opportunity to just slam down. Slam in for damage. But now that we're holding up the Wandering Emperor mana, we're just gonna attack for 3 and pass the turn. So our opponent's playing a bunch of sagas here. So they're gonna have a 2/2 first striker, they're gonna have a 2/3 flyer, they're gonna scry a bunch, they're gonna draw cards. They're just gonna do all of the things in the world. And have a fun time with it. They're going to gain life. I'm just chugging from my bottle now. Inventive Iteration. Return a creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Alright, return the Disciple. And then we just drop Wandering Emperor and go ham. Doesn't give hexproof, right? No, just first strike. Okay, so that resolves. Part 2, they return an artifact from their graveyard to their hand. They return Saiba Trespassers. Okay. Which can tap down our cards and slow us down, which is a little annoying. And then they're going to get a 3/3 flyer. Okay. So here is the Wandering Emperor. Get our Samurai. We have Naomi if we have an enchantment and an artifact on the board, so I really want to trigger that.
Let your blade do the talking.
What happens if they can't return an artifact? If you can't draw a card, I think I would rather just let them draw a card, so I can exile their artifact here to stop them from doing that. And I get an extra damage in. Yeah. Alright. Lots of loud noises as all the sagas flip here. But essentially, it's 2/3 flyer and a 2/2 first striker. The iteration happens next turn, and they'll have a 3/3 flyer as well. They're down to 14. They're facing the Wandering Emperor. We have a 2-mana instant speed removal spell in hand. We have Naomi if we hit a land, which will be insane. Don't hit a land here. We have to +1 with the Wandering Emperor, because if we minus, she dies on the spot, which is not worth it. You can kill the Vector Glider here with Lethal Exploit. You can kill anything with Lethal Exploit if they block. And Wanderer's Intervention with both of those cards up here. I think we're just holding those up and attacking in, and then we're also holding up ninjutsu effects, so we just make sure this stuff goes like really in our favor. And we just make sure we have one of these two left over to save the Wandering Emperor when they attack with a flyer. We're going to have vigilant creatures to block. So, I think buff a Lion Sash here, because it combos well with extra counters on it, and then just attack everybody. I haven't done like all of the math in the world of all the possible blocks they can make, but I don't think they can make a good block when we have 4 different tricks. Well, 2 tricks and 2 ninjutsus. Okay, so that's the only block they go for. I think that's the best block they could have made, because that's a block that actually makes me want to say it's just like, okay. Alright, I guess that happens. Right? Because we can instead, now we can play the Silencer to pick up the Disciple and then discard it to kill the 4/4. So our 2/3 lifelinker trades up into the 4/4 Vigilance. And then we still get to hold up Lethal Exploit to kill the Vector Glider, and we can Wanderer's Intervention to kill the First Striker. I guess if we're going to Wanderer's Intervention to kill the First Striker next turn, we might as well just kill it now. So yeah, kill that now. Ninjutsu and kill the Flyer? Or just hold up Lethal Exploit and just don't even ninjutsu. I guess we just also just not ninjutsu. And kill the Flyer with Lethal Exploit. But I think I want to do that now in case they draw a combat trick. Alright, they're down to 7. Wandering Emperor's still around. All our creatures are still on board. But they do have 2 blockers. And we are tapped out. But if we hit a land, Naomi refuels our Samurai if we have to double block their Sunblade Samurai. But they will not even attack in because they're scared. They are low on life. Slapped a Sash onto the Disciple. That's pretty monstrous, isn't it? A 4/5 lifelinker. Attacks in, they double block. I guess it's not that good. Because they just double block. They're at 7 facing 4 attackers. Magic is such a tough game. There's like so much we can do here. Oh yeah, first strike from the Wandering Emperor. Oh my god, yeah. So we actually have to do it the weird way then. Where we have to reconfigure the Sash onto the Disciple and then put the counter on Disciple. I'd prefer to put the counter on the Sash, because then the counter sticks around for other stuff, but in order to get the first strike, we have to do it like that.
Remember your training.
Yeah, the first strike makes, yeah, just moving the Sash and just jamming look pretty good. Uh-oh. What on earth is this? To X, target creatures phase out, so they're just like gone for a turn. And because of Living Breakthrough, we can't cast 4 mana spells this turn. Alright, that doesn't matter. We only have 2 mana up. Okay, all our creatures phase out. When do they come back? The start of the controller's next turn, so they kill the Wandering Emperor here too. Wow, yeah, that's nasty. They just kill the Wandering Emperor here. If they attack in with the Flyer. They got her. They got her with a spicy rare I was not prepared for. In case it ever becomes relevant, you can ninjutsu after first strike or combat damage, but before end of combat. That's pretty cool. If it matters. Oh, they're just going to attack us. Okay, so Wandering Emperor's fine. Just take the damage, sure. Either they're conceding or they're wrathing the board. That's what I would guess. Although if they wrath, our stuff's phased out, so that doesn't make sense. Okay. Jam in. I missed lethal. We can get a +1/+1 counter on one of these. So they block there and then take 7. Okay, we don't have lethal. They have another copy of Saiba Trespassers to tap our creatures down and keep them tapped for the next turn. Okay. Don't have any tricks to make combat good here. So I'll make another... I could exile their flyer, actually, instead of making a samurai. That's probably better.
You are not much.
And then we'll just play our biggest creature. 3/2 lifelinker. This is another one of those games. It just feels like we have like 10 different decisions we could make every single turn. I'm just juggling like 6 balls and I don't even know how to juggle 2. But we have like firmly been in the driver's seat like the whole time, so it's all good. Tamiyo's completion to shut 1 creature off. 2 creatures attacking, Fall of Lord Konda. It's definitely a good draw. So we hit them for 5 for sure. Ooh, Spell Pierce is certainly great against that. Never mind then. Reconfigure for 2 mana. So we don't have... Don't have the mana to successfully reconfigure for an attack here. Our opponent is like resilient here. Just coming at us again. They just have so much more to harass our creatures and keep them tapped down. They believe in finding lethal. Alright. I believe keeping a wide board when you're at 7 is going to be better than not taking 4. They're going to phase out all of our creatures again. They could have that one saga that's like -2/-0 to our whole board. That'd be annoying, but I think because of Lion Sash, we still pretty much get there. Okay, a 4/4 flyer. Cool. So Lion Sash, do your thing. Just exile a permanent. It's their most annoying permanent. Probably the Trespassers. We hit the land for Naomi here, which is beautiful. We do have to be worried about blocking this flyer, but we don't have any way to do so. Can buff the Golden Tail Disciple, it's lethal, they're forced into a chump. And we gain 7. There's no way gaining 7 is not the right thing to do here.
Strike fast and strike hard.
And they're forced to chump there, and then they kill one of our things and we hit for 4. Okay. They are over it. I'm too stupid to close out the game quickly, so I think our opponent's just getting a little annoyed at this point. Opponent is on the play again. We've got a pretty good curve, 2-drop, 3-drop, and some awesome late game plays. The Imperial Oath has always been great on 6. Opponent starts with a forest, so I'm already pretty happy to have drawn the Fall of Lord Konda. Most green decks in this format have tended to run 4 mana or greater creatures. As within most formats, they're stuck on double green, the nice comes out. Our opponent is not having a good time. They had to mole to 6 and got stuck with a 2-lander. Commune with Spirits, very helpful for that. Grabs them the black source, so they have both colors now. Life of Toshiro Umezawa gets our Spirited Companion off the board. Pretty excellent deal there. If we draw an artifact, Naomi's going to be awesome. Otherwise, she's just okay. So gain 2 life here this time. And a pass of the turn. And oops from our opponent. So I guess they kept a 2-liner with a bunch of 4-mana cards. Which is also fair. Because mulliganing to 5 is incredibly rough, especially on the play. So it could just be a really unlucky one from our opponent here. There's the 4 mana. If they still don't play anything, I'd be really weirded out. Yes, Rybok. The reconfigure, it works exactly like equip, where you can just be like, all right, instead of being configured on this, I'm going to equip it to this one. Or I'll just completely unattach it. Whatever you want to do. So let's attack with everybody here and see what instant they're holding up here. Combat trick to kill a creature or something. Or just a removal spell. Removal spell on Naomi, it looks like. Yep. 5 damage and they gain 5 life. Well, we can't stop that. These will bounce off each other. We gain some more mana. How's the game going? We are 5-1 now. Things are going super great. I'm going to cast Imperial Oath so I can scry 3. And get these lands out of the way. And that's awesome. It's a little awkward because the 2/2s do just run into the 2/3, and the Surge Hacker mech blows one up. Great card from our opponent there. But it'll be okay. We've got a Wanderer's Intervention to kill this 2/3. Probably shouldn't use it to kill the 2/3, but I'm going to anyway. Because it makes sure that our creatures are relevant for the rest of the game. We can get 2 more damage if we ninjutsu it in, but then we have a Disciple stuck on our hand, so I'd rather just hard cast the Blade Blizzard card. Hey Berman, how's it going? Been loving all your vids. Have you ever thought about being a commentator for MTG tournaments? You'd be great at it. I have not considered that. I don't consider my commentary all that great, but if anybody gave me the offer, if anybody wanted me to come commentate any kind of event, I'd certainly try it out. Sounds like it would be a fun time. Always up for new things. Attack all, reduce the Surge Hacker mech. And we definitely attack all. We're not going to find a kill on this with Lethal Exploit. But we are still going to do a bunch of damage and only lose 1 creature. Alright. It looks like we do find a kill on the mech. And they're down to 4. We have 4 2-power creatures. Just 2 of them getting in is going to get the kill. If they have 2 blockers, they still die. Feels like we got it in the bag. Our opponent just stuck on mana for quite a while. Still only 4 mana from them, no double black. There's the concession. We're now 6-1. And my throat, my voice has completely died because we've hit the 7-hour mark. This is where I turn into a 70-year-old. I drank all the water. Actually, that's not true. You could see it splashing there. The lies, the untruths that spill out of this mouth. Okay, now I drink all the water. All right, we only got 1 more game to win, and we'll have another 7-win run in the bag, so I'm not going to take another break until we maybe win that one. We hopefully win this one. We could still lose. That's always a possibility. Opponent on the plate again. I wonder when the next time we'll be on the plate is. I don't think it matters that much with this deck. I've been streaming for 7 hours and you've been missing it? This is accurate, this is true. But the way that Twitch works, it always keeps all of the streams for like 2 or 3 weeks or something. So you can just watch the video back if you're really concerned. All of the most fun drafts will get edited and uploaded to YouTube. Because that saves me time so I don't have to do another full recording session. Because I don't have all of the free time in the universe. So that way I can stream and do YouTube videos at the same time in a way. So, wow, we've got nothing going for us here, do we? Ryvok's been playing Magic for almost 14 hours now. I guess that means the launch was a success? Yeah, between you and me, for sure. This is more Magic than I usually play, even on launch day. Because I did a 2-hour draft video before I started the stream. So, I mean, that was 9 hours for me. I took a little break in between, obviously, to upload the video, put tags on it and all that stuff, but been a lot of Magic today. And I have thoroughly enjoyed my time, the whole time. Really like the format. So our opponent's on green, white, blue. They're on Bant, and they've got the Dracula sleeves. Pretty cool. You wonder if MTG Bot has heard of the new set now? Probably not. Probably takes a couple days. It looked like it worked, Rivoke, but I don't see a Banishing Slash there. It's trying to look for Banishing Knack, Banishing Light, Banishing Stroke, or Vanishing Verse. Banishing Burst. I love that card. Okay, this is not good. Goshintai's going to start going off and they're going to get a bunch of 1/1s. We don't have any modified creatures, and we still won't for a little while. Play the Blade of the Oni, can crew the suit and attack with it, and I can lethal exploit a 1/1, I guess? This doesn't seem very good. No, I don't want to crew it again. Oh, if you haven't heard, they nerfed vehicles a little bit. You can't have self-driving cars anymore. You can't crew your Dragonfly suit with your Dragonfly suit. So if you crew the vehicle, you can't then like use its crew effect again to tap itself for any strange little corner cases. Well, at least our opponent isn't hitting us very hard. So if they can't kill Blade of the Oni, I mean, that's pressure. That's just really threatening. Hey Wraithbone, how's it going? Ooh, Sunblade Samurai from our opponent. Alright, so if I Banishing Slash, I don't have an enchantment out, so I don't get the 2/2 off of it, but I can still kill a 4/4 or Goshintai off of it. Both would be good kills. But instead I could also just equip Blade of the Oni and hit for 5, but then I have to outrace all this stuff. So I feel like that's probably not great. You saw me going online when you went to bed? Sounds like you're back up now. You can catch the end of the stream for sure. We are 6-1 right now with a pretty sick Orzhov deck. I think I want a Sunblade Samurai. Guarantee I have double white for Banishing Knack, and we're probably going to have to just Banishing Knack one of their big creatures to stay alive. So next turn we can Banishing Knack or Banishing Slash and Lethal Exploit. Rivoke's looking up older cards like Banishing Knack, and now I'm getting all my cards mixed up. Ooh, the Fall of Lord Konda is so good. It's so good because it puts an enchantment on our board, so when we do cast Banishing Slash next turn, we get a 2/2 out of it as well. Unfortunately, though, no modified creature for the Lethal Exploit. But we can race here, which is probably the best thing to do when we have an equipment that can make one of our creatures a 5/5 menace. So we put them to 10. They could double block Blade of the Oni, I guess. Actually, yeah, they can double block Blade of the Oni and we can't stop that. I didn't notice the Spirit Token until it was too late. I can Lethal Exploit so I can kill both of their cards, which is fine. But we don't have the Blade anymore, which is sad. Yeah. Sad, that's not ideal. We shouldn't have attacked with the Blade. Colossal Sky Turtle. Good thing that's an enchantment creature. Ward 2, I can afford that. Good thing that's an enchantment creature. It wanted me to resolve the word ability. I'm like, I don't want that to resolve. I want to pay for that. Alright, we're good. We killed the big turtle. We are outracing our opponent. They're hitting us for 3 a turn. We're hitting them for 4 a turn. We're going to play a big 4/4 samurai and a 1/3 defender. Feels solid here. Spirited Companion's a good drop for our opponent. 1/1 plus they draw a card. Doesn't help them block in the sky. It still filters right to their next card. Ecologist Terrarium. Doesn't matter too much. Put a +1/+1 counter on one of the 1/1s and have a 2/2. They have a land to the hand, but the land doesn't matter. They have plenty. Can definitely outrace our opponent here. So unless they draw something really good, this might be the 7th win. Could be a 7-1 here, which would be fantastic. All right, take 3. Definitely not going to cycle the samurai here. We do not need more lands, and we could absolutely use a 4/4. Okay, so let's crew the suit with the fragment to hit for the most possible damage. Because even if we want to chump block with the fragment, it has 3 toughness, so it can't possibly die on blocks. So take the double block for the trade there. Puts them down to 5, and here's our samurai. Our board state is dramatically better than theirs. They've got to draw really well here. Alright, goes to our turn. Crew with our defender again. Putting them down to 1 life in the sky, forcing a chump block. We've got 1 final draw step. They have to clear out all of our creatures. Just another land for our opponent, pretty flooded out here. But looks like they do have something to cast. Another Spirited Companion. Could get there. Draw a card. See what the next one is. It is not enough. There's the concession from our opponent. I believe that's 7-1 with this Orzhov deck. Let's see. Let's find out. Numbers are all a blur to me. 7-1? Oh my god. Finishing the night out on a 14-1 run. Technically, yeah. Last draft was 7-0. This one's 7-1. This was a great night. I'm having a lot of fun with the format in general. I might be a bit biased because I am winning way too much, way more than I usually do. But I think it's just a really cool format also. A lot of the cards are really flexible. I love artifact decks in general, and you can really draft artifact decks. You can draft Rakdos artifact decks that are about like sacrificing little artifact tokens and making new ones and stuff. That's super fun. You can draft blue-red artifact decks that are like reducing the cost of your artifacts. You can draft blue-white vehicle decks. You can draft all kinds of enchantment decks if you were into that stuff in Theros. Just decks with a ton of enchantment creatures, like these Golden Tail Disciples. All of the sagas turn into creatures eventually, so if you love enchantment creatures or artifact creatures, anything like that, there's tons of stuff to do. It's just a really cool format with a lot going on. So that's probably the biggest downside to the format as well, is that there's just a lot going on. So I'm like a very enfranchised drafter. I draft a boatload, so I love it. But good lord, I couldn't imagine this being the first set that I've ever drafted. That would be insane. Because if you just look at our sideboard here, and just look at how many lines of text are on most of these cards, like especially like the sagas like this, there are a bunch of lines of text and 2 cards. Like, oh my god. 2 trophies puts you in the top 50 on 17 lands for this set. Well, I have 4. So, I want to check the 17 lands data right now. How do I see that? I'm not there's no way I'm number 1. I'm probably like number 2 or something. I'm going to check that because this is the last draft of the night. I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube video here if I do upload this to YouTube. I just like to thank anybody who's watching. on YouTube for hanging out. This was a really fun draft, and as always, if you want to see more of this stuff, just stick around on the channel. There will be more daily for as long as I can keep it up, and you can also check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, where I streamed this draft and many others like it live. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.